All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast here on the 1010XL podcast platform at 1010XL.com, the 1010XL app, of course, and lots of content done right out of these 1010XL podcast studios. And I'm always happy to be a part of the team every Tuesday and Friday. I jump in here and give you Catching Up with Tommy Mac, brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. Just a group of businesses, man. They're there when you need them. They are there when you need them, and they do it right. Good people, just like the fine community of Jacksonville. That's always what I hear. I heard it last night on the 904 Pro Show with Austin Lane, our special guest. I'll get into that a little bit, but why 904? Why stay here? The people, he says. Everybody says that, and it's absolutely true, without a doubt. Lots to get into today. We will take a look around the NFL real quick. Some interesting stories out there. Going to look at the AFC South quarterback. I don't know about race, but just look at the starting four and talk about that. And then I think we're going to finish with the Jaguars running back room. You know, running back, think about this. And good morning to you, Grammage. How are you, my man?
Good morning,
What
sir.
are you winning bets over there? Are you all excited? You keep giving fist pumps. You winning bets? What do you got?
I just got an email that I closed a deal. So.
All right, Grammage.
Oh, yeah.
How good does that make you feel?
So welcome, just real quick, welcome Flame Broiler.
All right.
The newest restaurant at 1010XL.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to get some food out of there.
Absolutely.
Man. Good job, bro.
Absolutely.
Good job. No question about that. Think about that. When's the last time we talked about running backs?
Forever.
When's anybody in the, really, like nobody's talking about the running back. Travis Etienne, yeah, he got his fifth-year option, right, which was great. But, nobody's really talking about that. But we're going to talk about it today because they do want to take the load off Travis Etienne. I want to see him even more involved in the passing game, without a doubt. We've talked about the running game in the past, especially recently after Coach Ingram was on my 904 Pro Show with me and Killer Bees. By the way, every Thursday at Graffiti Burger Bar, we film the 904 Pro Show. Last night, Austin Lane, like I mentioned. And 2 weeks now, because I have to travel next week, but 2 weeks, Tom Coughlin and his daughter Kelly from the J Fund, of course, are going to get into it on the round table. We sit around. You can sit around us and listen in, and it's absolutely fantastic. You probably want to get there early on the 6th. But happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody out there, too, man. And thankful for all of our veterans, the past, present, the future, man. You know, I love our military, and it's the ultimate sacrifice, and it always will be for you to put your life on the line for our country and our freedom. And I'll always thank you for that. So a lot of cheers to the vets this weekend. A lot of thankfulness and gratefulness as well. Grammage, you got any big plans for Memorial Day weekend?
No huge plans currly.
You and the fiance? You texted me early, like way early. I'm like, Grammage, getting up early, man.
Yeah, so for those that don't, I've probably said it on the show before, but for those that don't know, my fiance's a nurse.
Oh, right.
So when she works, she gets up early.
Right.
So normally she just kind of like says goodbye, whatever, like love you, see you tonight, whatever. Yeah. And I just realized we hadn't figured out our time yet. So when I was half awake, I was like, oh, let me see what's up real quick. So I know when to wake up.
Yeah. So you were up.
Yeah, but nothing specific on actual Memorial Day. Normally our friend group, we'll figure something out and do so. We'll go to the beach or whatever.
We've got some parties to attend to. There will be a lot of fun, a lot of family parties at the beach. My brother Mike comes in Sunday.
Nice.
With his two boys. So my two nephews will be in town. So looking forward to seeing Uncle Mike and MJ and Matthew. They're getting big, getting up there in age. So that'll be fun. Always a good time with my brother Mike, and Bobby will be around as well. So that'll be a good time. I hope you all have a good time out there. No question about it. We had a great time last night, the 904 Pro Show at Graffiti with Austin Lane. It's not ready yet. Excuse me. That's that protein bar. I apologize. It's not ready yet, but when it is, I'll promote it because he takes us inside, man. I'm enamored with the fight game. I've always have been. Like, to get in there one-on-one, you know? I mean, you got your trainers, you got your people in your corner, and I get it, but at the end of the day, it's just you and that person, you know, and nobody's coming to help you. You know, you can tap or you get beat, knocked out, you know, lose on points. And I'm not just talking MMA. I'm talking boxing, anything like that, jiu-jitsu, anything where you're competing one-on-one. I think that just says a lot about somebody. You know, I don't know if I Honestly, I don't know if I have that. You know what I mean? Like that. I consider myself, I don't want to say a tough guy, but like I'm tough enough. You know what I mean? But that's a different kind of toughness. That's, I don't know. And the emotions. That's what we talked about, which was great getting into it. Like, how do you handle a loss? How do you keep the emotions out of it? Like when you're in a street fight, which it's been forever, and I want it to stay that way. Your emotions are like through the roof, right? You get hot. You're like, you lose control sometimes, but you can't be that way in the ring. Like you got to be collected. You know what I mean? I don't know. And there's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of, I look, again, it was funny. I opened the show. I said, I'm enamored with two things on this earth. Speed. Like, I wish I could run like the wind. And I love when you can see, like, even when the little kid, out in soccer, you're like, there's one kid that just hauls ass. You're like, that kid's fast. So cool. You know what I mean? I wish I had that. And the fight game, getting in there and duking it out, man. There's nothing like it. So Austin's got one more fight on his UFC contract. If he wins, he moves forward, like gets another contract. If he doesn't, then he's got to regroup and figure it out. So he doesn't know he's fighting yet. He doesn't know when it's coming. But he is going over to England to help one of his teammates. He's going to corner one of the teammates and be there for him. So he's got one more fight. It's a big one for him. So we wish him all the best. And I tell you what, I'm going to wait till you have to see it. But he tells a story about his kid going to the movies with his kid after a loss, and it'll warm your heart. I'll just leave it at that. All right, Grammage, I want to take a look at our AFC South quarterbacks. Of course, Trevor, C.J. Stroud, AR, and Will Levis. Will gets two names because he hasn't done anything yet. Either has AR, but he's got a cool nickname. CJ has, and we know Trevor obviously has. Of course, I rank Trevor number one. It's not about ranking him either. It could be a really strong class, right? I mean, if CJ doesn't have, a sophomore slump, and it remains to be seen. I mean, sometimes they do. Sometimes rookie quarterbacks have great success, and then that next year they get figured out a little bit. They have a little maybe adversity they can't figure out. They're getting hit too much. Maybe protection breaks down. Maybe too many drops. Whatever the case may be. So we'll see how he responds for his sophomore year. Will Levis, look, has got all the tools you need. Now, I'm not saying they're elite. I don't know. He's got an elite arm. He's got a big arm. Big enough, is he smart enough? Can he see the field well enough? Remains to be seen. They've added, I mean, it's up to him now. They've added everything you would want as a QB, I would imagine. Right? The O-line's upgraded. The wide receivers are upgraded. Your targets are upgraded. Of course, there's no more Derrick Henry, who, by the way, I read the Ravens want him to get 300 carries. That guy, I mean, he's built like a DN. He can handle it, but unbelievable. So will Levis turn out to be any type of decent quarterback? And then AR, Anthony Richardson, look, sky's the limit for him. We don't know. He's been out the whole year. All we know is he's, doesn't have a lot of experience, right? Started 13 games in college and not many in the pro, if any at all. When did he get hurt? In the preseason? Can't remember when he got hurt.
No, he got hurt in the Jags game.
He got hurt in the Jags game, the first game. That's right.
He hurt his knee, and then he came back in, though.
Yeah, he tried to play with it.
I think the next week, and then I want to say he hurt his shoulder.
Okay.
And he had to get the shoulder surgery is what
is the surgery. That's right. That's right. He got hurt a couple times.
But this is the Anthony Richardson special. He plays a couple games.
Yep.
He looks like the greatest quarterback you've ever seen.
Yep.
And then he gets hurt.
Yeah.
He's not built to last. I hate saying that, but it's just the truth. I mean,
hopefully he spent a year bulking up, getting some some cushion. At the end of the day, look, he's got elite skill. Arm and speed, right? Physical. But it just shows you that the elite skills physically, that's only a portion of the game at QB, right? I mean, you got to have so much more than that. You got to be able to hone in those skills. You got to know when to fit it in tight. You got to know when not to take that chance, right? You got to know everything that's out there. You got to see the backside. You can't have tunnel vision on one guy. You can't, you can't miss. You can't be. You're going to be off target sometimes, of course. That's natural, but you can't miss on the big downs. you know? A lot goes into it. But I think at the end of the day, look, you got two that are really good. Trevor and CJ are really good, right? And again, I'll wait to see on how good CJ is based on how he does in year 2. After that, it's a crapshoot, right? But what if even one of them turns out, either AR or Will Levis turns out to be a pretty decent QB? It's going to be a fun division, right? We're a quarterback-driven league. Like, I mean, our quarterback's the best, which is great, and he's got to maintain that. But great competition, great division games. The division's going to mean something, you know? I mean, it does every year, winning it. But it'll be fun to watch. I think it's pretty cool. I want to see, I tell you, year 2 for C.J. Stroud. The thing that I'll give him, and maybe it doesn't mean anything, but, you know, I just listened to D'Amico Ryans in an interview the other day. I had the TV on at home. Maybe it was yesterday. No, it was Wednesday. And his demeanor is phenomenal. It's just calm, cool, and collected, but you can tell it's firm. You know what I mean? And I think he'll keep them humble. I think they will. I think he may even use us as an example, right? That we weren't humble, not humble enough, which I think is changing. I do. I really think it's changing, especially on defense. I'm really liking what I'm hearing out of Ryan Nielsen, without question. And I was reading, I actually talked about it last night briefly, but when he was with Atlanta last year, they were the third most team in man. 60% of the time they were in man-to-man coverage, Atlanta, last year. We were 30%. We were like the second lowest in that stat, which means what? Aggressive attack. Hey, Jimmy, Jay Smooth on. What's up, Jimmy? One of my favorite people in the whole world. Great player, too, by the way. I'd throw that in there. But that's big, right? And that's why the corners are so important. That's why you got to have the kind of corners that Ryan Nielsen is looking for. And, you know, look, if these quarterbacks it all starts with pressure. Pressure can screw up a quarterback's day all day long. But if you got the coverage tight as well and you're dictating at the line of scrimmage, you know, playing zone, man, it's so hard. It's like you could equate it to like trying to guard a point guard, taking the ball up the court, open court, and you got him from the get-go. I mean, the whole court. You know, trying to stay in front of that guy. That's what it's like when you're playing zone. Unless you jump, unless you get lucky, or unless what? You have pressure. You don't have consistent pressure, especially up the middle. Zone won't work very well, especially if it's off zone and not press zone. Jimmy will tell you. Now, Jimmy was one of the best at getting guys off him without losing a step. So we all know how fast Jimmy was and great and all that, but he was so strong. His upper body was so strong. He would just knock those hands and boom, he's gone. So you had to play a little game with him. And I don't even know what game I'm talking about because I never had to do it, but you did. You had to try your best to get him off his rhythm because once that happened, it's brutal. So it should be fun. Look, it should be a fun division to watch. I enjoyed the AFC Central. I mean, those were big games, man. Houston was always tough. Pittsburgh was always tough. I mean, they were all physical. Cleveland, even though the records might not have been good, man, you were in for a fist fight. And then it became Baltimore. I mean, we were fighting from the first time we played them, I think. Benny Thompson, their safety, and Baselli got into it. I guess he hit Brunell late, and Baselli went after him. You guys remember that in 96? I remember that. That was fantastic. That's what you're talking about there. But it should be an interesting one.
Remember when Jimmy destroyed Baltimore for 3 touchdowns?
Yeah. Yes, of course I do. 297 yards, was it?
Killed him.
He could have had 400 and 500, couldn't you, Jim? If they given you the ball a few more times. I know. All right, so here's an interesting one. And look, I'm all for whatever happens with Trevor and his contract. Get all that you can, Trevor. All that you can. I hope you get whatever you want to get. But let me think. This whole you pay him because it's his turn thing is Is it because there's pressure to do it? Like, if you don't extend your so-called franchise QB after their third year, their rookie contract, no matter if you pick up the fifth year or not, are you saying that he may not be our guy? Is that what? Because I keep hearing this. Hey, you pay him, it's his turn. And I get it. Well, who's left? Tua, him, and the kid from Jordan Love out of Green Bay, right? And I'm talking extension from the rookie deals, right? So I mean, is it his turn? I guess, but I'm of the thinking I want to see more, but then I'm paying him more. And everyone's like, well, you get a deal. In the whole scheme of things, I don't think it breaks the owner at all. The TV contracts eat all that money up. I mean, you wait a year to pay him $5 million more a year, or $10 million more a year, $15 million more a year. I mean, if Trevor takes this team to the playoffs, and I mean takes this team, consistent badass play, right? And you can say he had it in 2022 for a spell. He had a little bit of it in 2023. No doubt about it. Can he put the whole year together and carry this offense, carry this team into the playoffs, and who knows from there? I'll just take getting in. Show me that, and I give you whatever you want. I mean, within reason. And I know you could say, well, that hurts other positions. Look, the cap's going to keep going up. The revenue keeps going up. The owners' values, they keep skyrocketing. So, yes, I think back 10 years ago, you may be like, no, let's get them down and wrap them up. Let me ask you this. Last year, if you would have done Josh Allen, $23 million. This year was 31, right? $8 million. What's the owner going to do? Paying him $8 million more a year. You know what I mean? You think the owner's worried about that?
Well, no, but it's about how it affects the salary cap. It's not really about shot.
But the salary cap is going to keep going up.
It's going to keep going up.
I don't think it's going to dent it as much as everyone thinks. And look, let's be honest. Most people aren't capologists. They really don't have any idea how they manipulate it. I don't know how they manipulate it, but I do know they manipulate it, and they'll make anything work, whatever the deal is. Well, you see after every season, there's a team, oh my gosh, they're $100 million over the cap. And then eventually it's like, oh, we're $30 million under the cap. You got to make some moves, you got to do some things, but it's doable. But I don't think it's that big of a dent. And again, here's the other side of it. Let's play devil's advocate, can we? You give him $55 million or whatever it is now. What if he plays not that great? What if he ends up being just, good, but not great?
Yeah, it's a risk.
So then you eat that. So would you rather eat the 15 at the most, or would you rather eat the 55? I don't know. It's just, look, and I think he's going to be fine. I want to see it. I do. I want to see more out of Trevor. I want to see him really carry this team and lead this team and make a ton of plays and stay healthy. Lots got to happen around him. It's not all him, but it is all him. And when it comes down to it, it's going to come down to the play of Trevor Lawrence and that offense.
But I think the other question, too, though, is what if he does have an average year, if he has an underwhelming year, put it that way. What is the alternative? Is there a world where he plays so poorly that you would rather start over and draft somebody else next year?
No. I don't think he's capable of playing that poorly.
Right. Is there a year he plays? Is there a way he plays so poorly that at the end of the season you'd rather go get a free agent?
No, he's my guy. He's my guy. So I guess you're gonna pay him regardless.
And that's the point.
But why are we? Who cares how much money we're saving the owner? I don't care.
I care because it saves the cap. It's not about the owner. It's about the cap.
The cap continues to skyrocket.
Right, but if I'm paying a lower amount right now and the cap goes up, I'm saving even more. So even if it's only $10 million, that could be a guard.
Grant, we got $30 million sitting there right now. We're not going to get anybody.
I agree.
So you know what I mean? I don't know. Take half. And I got 15 to mess with and still go get a guard.
If I'm Trent Baalke, I'd cut Cam's ass and save even more.
Good.
You
bring up, listen, we don't know, is there more to come to this roster, before the start of the regular season?
I sure hope so.
We don't know.
I don't know that I don't hate the roster, but I don't know that it's quite I can put the stamp of approval.
What do you need?
This roster's competing.
What do you need to feel differently? The O-line?
I don't love Ezra Cleveland as a starter. I don't love Brandon Sheriff as a starter.
They got a lot to prove, no doubt.
I would have replaced both of those players, to be honest.
You know how I felt about the O-line. I would have upgraded the O-line for sure. They have with the center, for sure.
Yes, correct.
And I'm not of the belief that he makes the guards better. I mean, they help each other out with communication, but those guys are veterans. They know communication. Hey, rocket science out there.
Luke Fortner's not the reason that Brandon Sheriff couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not trying to.
No, I know.
It's just like
listen, it is what it is. You all you got to, if you go by stats like a lot of people do, our O-line was terrible last year. Now they had some games that they were good. I remember the Saints game. Trevor didn't get one sack. I don't even think he was hit that night, other than running when he took off and ran. They did have outings, but then they'd have terrible outings, and they'd get pushed around. Then they'd, getting their quarterback hit. I mean, I will say this, regardless of good games or not good games by the O-line, if you take the whole season as a whole, the theme every week on this show was Trevor's getting hit way too much. I mean, he was. Even on good throws, he was getting, even good plays, he was getting drilled.
And it was mostly from the inside of the pocket.
It was. It's hard to operate when that, when that takes place. Well, look, I'm more like, I'm tempered just because, I feel like, last year I really bought into everything. I really thought they were going to be a big contender. I'm not saying super, but I did. I had them at 12 wins. I thought they were, after what I saw last year, the way they finished, the way they even, came out, they weren't great initially. I thought the Houston game was an embarrassment. And then to hear there were psyche issues. We had to get away and go to London and get away from the press clippings and believe in our hype. And, we don't have a good practice, with the Chiefs coming to town. That blew me away. First of all, they beat Indy handily on the road. Handily, and still didn't play that great. And the rhetoric was, including on this show, man, they put up 31, but the offense was kind of clunky. They didn't really have rhythm. It's kind of weird. But what's the upside? Wait till they put it together. And then you find out they had a bad week of practice with the champs coming to town in week 2. You're like, what? What? How? You beat Indy. You didn't play your best. You got the champs coming to town who you took toe-to-toe in the divisional round. I mean, I'm having the best week of practice. What are you talking about? I can't wait. I'm putting all extra effort, everything, you know what I mean? So that was then, this is now. But at the end of the day, this team hopefully has done enough to be that contender. So I'm tempered, man. I'm waiting. I don't want to hear how good look people last year, Devon Hamilton had a great camp. Oh man, he was killing everybody. Oh my gosh, he was unbelievable. Well, guess what? Our O-line sucked. So that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything other than maybe he was in good shape, right? Before his injury and before his illness. But that doesn't mean anything. Ridley, all I heard about Ridley was, oh my gosh, records. Look at him run. And he did. He was like a whirlybird. I mean, he was like the road runner. It was you watch his legs, you're like, holy cow, how does he even catch up with himself? You know what I mean? He's like so fast. He's going to be unbelievable. He's going to be wide open. He's going to make all these. No. So I'm going to wait. I'm wishing and I'm hoping for the best. I really am. Of course I am. It's better when they win. It's better for everything, including business. People spend more money when we win. It's just fact. Okay? That's not my driving force, but it's when they win, the city goes crazy. It ignites a fire that's really second to none. I haven't been in every NFL city. I've played in plenty, but it's second to none when this team's on fire. So hopefully they can get back to some of that. All right, I do want to take a quick look around the National Football League. Max Crosby, check this out. I didn't know this whole story, but he spent part of his rookie year in rehab. Did you know that? He had a drinking issue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's super. Yeah. That's well documented.
I think I've heard of it before, but anyway, he got. What a story to go from there to where he is. He signed a monster deal in 2022. They just gave him $6 million without extending the term. Just gave him a raise because he's played so well. Yeah. And not only that, which is a good lesson for people out there, Yeah, we're talking about his work ethic. There early, stays late, always prepared, always working, always going 110%. Just everything you want out of a professional player. So it's not just the stats. It's not just what you do on the field. It's everything. And that's when you get rewarded what they just rewarded him. I think it's a great story from where he's come, where he's a hell of a player. And let me tell you something. Much like Eric Armstead's going to help our Josh Allen, Christian Wilkins is going to help Max Crosby up there in Vegas. That's going to be a fun duo to watch.
When Max Crosby goes on vacation,
yeah,
he has his chef contact whatever hotel he's going to be staying at.
Yeah.
To like still make his specific food. Like he's addicted to his routine.
He is he's thin guy. He's not like he's tall, long as all get out, really athletic. I mean, I don't even know what he weighs, but I don't think he weighs he's not a 280-pound DN, is he?
No.
260 maybe? 250?
Probably around there. I mean,
he can really play. I love his attitude. But I thought that was a pretty cool story. Did you hear Caleb Williams struggled at OTAs? Oh, no. I thought it was generational. I'm kidding. You know what I'm saying? It's even news that he struggled at OTA. But the veterans picked him up and said, it's going to be okay, Caleb. You're going to be fine. Dust yourself off, man. We got another day tomorrow. Let's go. 7-on-7. He was throwing a couple picks, I guess. Had a tough day. It's going to happen. That's why you need reps. You need rep for young QBs, especially if they're gonna start. I saw where Bo Nix got the nod in their first official, I think, OTA is a starter up there in Denver. We'll see between him and Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham. How about those? He better win that job. That
is the stinkiest quarterback room of all time.
Yeah. And listen, I'm just going to say one thing. Harrison Butker getting a lot of grief. Can we just calm down? First of all, his crowd was a Catholic college. He said the same about men. So what? It doesn't mean that, I don't know. Everyone takes things. They get so uptight about stuff. I like what Goodell said about, hey, that's what makes us beautiful. Everyone's got an opinion. Different beliefs, different things, and we all, kumbaya. We're all good. So I like how Andy Reid handled it, too. Some reporter, what about the women, Andy? So get out of here. There's no ill will towards women in this organization whatsoever, but I think everyone needs to chill out when it comes to that. In my opinion, man, you can have yours as well. All right, we're going to get into the Jags running back room. Of course, Jags Talk brought to you by Team Tommy Mac, the businesses that I personally endorse here in Jacksonville and beyond, on this show, on the other shows, also social media, all over the place. Please, when I tag them, go visit their Facebook page. Go visit them on LinkedIn when it fits. Go check them out on different social media platforms. When you're in need, they're right there for you, right? You got to get out of jail. You need some junk removed. You need some hauling. You contractors out there, you want to get a new place to eat, something different, Graffiti Burger Bar, Salt Air Inn and Suites, place to stay near the beach. State Farm agent Michael Nickus, he's mine, could be yours. These things that are needed, flooring, Carpet Man flooring, all types of flooring, highest quality, lowest prices. Azar Sausage, guess where I'm going after the show? I'm going to the Azar Sausage plant to go pick up a ton of sausage for the weekend. I sure am. We're going to cook the heck out of it. No doubt about that. They're all in Winn-Dixie. You can check them out. Code Ninjas. You want to send your kid to camp, want to get your kid into learning robotics, learning security. I'm telling you, that tech is going to continue to grow. That cybersecurity, I have them on my show in the horse's mouth all the time. It continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And, of course, the Coconut Joe's hot sauce. Man, you need some hot sauce? I got some hot sauce for you. Go to FamilyTraditionsSpecialtyFoods.com. I'm telling you, it's absolutely phenomenal, the three blends that we like. And I brought them to the show last night. They were a big, big hit. The sriracha especially, and the jalapeno garlic was a big, big hit. That's Team Tommy Mac for you. We got room for more. If you're interested, just send me a message. I love representing good people and good businesses. All right, let's wrap up this show. I've got a few minutes anyway before I get to Jaguars today with Fat Tony. Mike Dempsey out today. But looking forward to joining Tone. Jags running back room. Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, Dearness Johnson, Keelan Robinson, Lorenzo Lingard and Jalen Jackson, 2 unrestricted free agents. I just won't check them out just to see. Jalen's 5'9", 220. It's a big, stocky guy. Hey, you know what? You never know with free agents. You never know. The undrafted free agents, they always have a chance, it seems, here in Jacksonville. And Doug seems to be open to that. But they've got to find a way, look, to get Travis Etienne a little break so he can be even more productive. Look, he had 11 touchdowns rushing last year, 12 total. I want to see him more in the pass game. And I don't mean just flares and screens. I mean get up and put some pressure on a linebacker, put some pressure, get up and do an option route, flush everybody out, let him do a little work one-on-one. I bet you he's not as quick twitch as Kirk, but I bet you he's a nightmare one-on-one in the open field if you're trying to cover him down. I'd like to see more of that. Tank, look, I don't think Tank's the receiver you need. Or I don't think he's the receiver he needs to be. We'll see with the running. All right, like I said, that last game, he did have a couple plays where you're like, okay, that looked, like you patiently saw it, cut in and, made a little move, a little swivel, got about 8, 9, or 10 yards. Like, okay, okay, cool. I wish I'd have seen that earlier. Maybe he's getting into it. He's got to know how to pass protect. That's huge. If he doesn't, he won't be out there. And that doesn't matter what we're talking about here. If he cannot pass protect, they cannot have Tank Bigsby out there. Dearness Johnson had actually more chances in the pass game. He's good in the pass game, Dearness is. He showed it, man. He had 10 catches, 140 yards last year. Not enough, but, so who's going to spell him? Is it Keelan Robinson? 5'9", 188, but a burner. Right? Can you get him involved? I know he's going to be a return guy, and I know we got plenty of weapons. But if we're going to spell Travis Etienne Jr., that's what we got to have. We got to have a back that can pick up the blitz, a back that's really good at catching the rock and making some plays, and a back that can run the rock when called upon. So it's not an easy task. We talked earlier a few weeks back about Coach Ingram talking about timing and suddenness that is needed in the running game. So a lot of times when that back just runs right up the gut or right into the back of that old lineman, the timing is off. Doesn't necessarily mean it's all the back's fault, but between the two. So that timing's got to be better. I tell you, if you want to, I don't know, how impressive is our running back room outside of Travis Etienne? You think about that. Like, how confident are you? What if? What if it's happened before? I want to knock on wood. I don't want to see anybody getting hurt. But what if he does go down? Who's your guy? Who's your guy? Is it Tank and then Dearness, in the pass game maybe, or Keelan or however? But wouldn't it be nice if it was one guy that could do it all?
Until someone proves me otherwise, they all stink. Besides,
I don't think
Travis
Dearness Johnson stinks. I don't. I think he's capable of getting you some play to spell your starter. I'm not saying he's my workhorse, but he can spell.
Yeah, he's all right.
I'll take 14 yards a catch.
He's better than
got
Tank.
Speed.
Tank Bigsby stinks
Until
proven otherwise.
Yeah, he's got to get it together. He's got to hone it in. But hopefully, look, again, the passing game sets up the running game in this offense. So the passing game's off, it's going to be tough because you're not a grounded pound. You're not. It's not gimmicky. It's just, you kind of set them up that way. Loosen up that safety, athletic lineman, just get in the way, find me a crease, hit it, and go, right? But they're not a ground and pound, and when the pass game don't work, you're screwed in this offense, or at least from last year. Maybe they can figure it out this year. All right, that's going to do it for me here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Had a great time. Hope you did as well. This will be shared. We take it from Facebook. I shouldn't say we. What do you got a mouse in your pocket? It's Grammage takes it from here, the footage, and he will put it on all the social media channels that it goes on. You'll also catch it on the app and on 1010XL.com. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Peace and love to our military and all the military families, not just here in Jacksonville, but throughout the entire country. God bless you. We love you all, and thank you so much for your sacrifice. And everybody else, have a great time. Be safe. Be cool. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Peace. Have a great day, everybody.